Mimi naitwa Jane na Tala wameniokolea sana. After kupata hiyo pesa, nilinunua nguo, nikauza, nikapata profit, nikaongezea stock. Asante sana Tala.
Tala, tunawaaminia.
Tired of endless scrolling? Say goodbye to the chaos. Introducing the all-new Business Daily website. Experience seamless navigation. Immerse yourself in a world of more videos and more podcasts. Discover more with our enhanced home pages. Engage like never before with our interactive tools. Join us and elevate your reading experience today. Business Daily. More possibilities.
Kote nchini mbele tuendelee, mbele Kenya twende mbele,
Kenya
tuendelee,
twende mbele. NCBA, go for it. This is NTV.
The recent wave of Gen Z-driven protests has spotlighted the legitimate concerns and voices of our youth who are advocating for meaningful change and recognition. These protests, however, have also been marred by alarming incidents of violence against Kenyans, including journalists. The cases of abduction of Bashara Gaido on Wednesday, the shooting of MediaMark's broadcast journalist Catherine Wanjeri Wakarioki in Nakuru on Tuesday, and the police spraying of chemicals on CNN photojournalist Fabian Muhire as he went about his work in Nairobi's Central Business District stand out as recent incidents. These acts of targeting journalists are unacceptable and must be unequivocally condemned. Peaceful demonstrations and protests are a form of free speech protected by our Constitution. They are a vital mechanism through which citizens, particularly our youth, can voice their frustrations and demands better today, tomorrow, and beyond. Journalists play an indispensable role in covering these protests, ensuring that the public remains informed and that the grievances of the protesters reach the relevant authorities and stakeholders. The Gen Z-led protests are driven by legitimate concerns that require our attention and action. Our youth are advocating for timely issuance of national identity cards or ID cards, passports, and higher education loans board disbursements, among other pressing issues. The government's acknowledgement of these issues and the concessions made by the president are steps in the right direction. However, more must be done to address these concerns comprehensively and with urgency. We must start by recognizing the legitimacy of the Gen Z's demands. These young citizens are not just protesting for the sake of it. They are highlighting issues that need a national conversation and immediate practical solutions. The government, civil society, and all stakeholders must acknowledge that the concerns raised by the youth are real and pressing. Their voices must be heard and their demands addressed with the seriousness they deserve. Furthermore, we must empathize with these young Kenyans' perspectives. Families who have lost loved ones during these protests are mourning. and their grief must be acknowledged. The issues raised by the Gen Z and other youth and like-minded Kenyans alike, such as the need to root out corruption and incompetence in the public sector, must be prioritized. So, even as the Fourth Estate gives platform to these matters, it is key to reiterate that the recent violent incidents against journalists are deeply troubling. These attacks are not only a violation of the journalists' rights, but also an assault on press freedom and democracy. Journalists have a rightful duty to cover protests and provide timely and accurate information to the public. Their safety and freedom to report without fear of retribution must be protected at all costs. The media commits to highlight the interventions proposed by both the government and the youth. The government's concessions, though commendable, must be followed by concrete actions to resolve the issues raised. Simultaneously, the youth should continue to engage peacefully and constructively to push for the changes they seek. Both parties must work collaboratively and find sustainable solutions that address the root causes of these protests. We call upon the government to take immediate action to ensure the safety of journalists. This includes conducting thorough investigations into the recent attacks and holding those responsible accountable. It is imperative to create an environment where journalists can perform their duties without fear of violence or intimidation. The protection of journalists is not just about safeguarding individuals. It is about upholding the principles of democracy and free speech. We must condemn unacceptable and illegal acts unequivocally and take immediate steps to protect journalists and uphold their rights. Tonight, police abducted him, saw the uproar, released him and said they mistakenly took the wrong man.
It is me they were looking for. It is me they were trailing. If we resisted Moi, who are these ones?
Veteran journalist Macharia Gaitho to sue police in a situation that appears to be an admission of the police being behind the recent spate of abductions. Various media practitioners protest shooting of MediaMax journalists ahead of industry demos set for next week. Plus, the pains after the protests and police on the spot.
Kama wali execute walimpiga risasi na wakaingia kwa gari wakicheka.
Deaths in Makueni and Kitengela and the narrow escape in the Nairobi CBD. Also tonight, they went looking for their missing kin. Sadly, they found them dead and decomposing.
Madada zake wakakonfirm ni yeye.
The painful unravelings of the Kware killings. And
during the demonstrations,
Raila on one side, many others on another. Azimio's divisions turned from what would have been a good day to a gund day. Opposition divided by the state.
Live from Nation Center, this is NTV Tonight with Dan Mwangi.
And David Agondoa, who is on the sign language interpretation tonight. Veteran journalist Macharia Gaitho says he intends to sue the state over his abduction attempt early Wednesday, which the National Police Service says is a case of mistaken identity. NTV's Ngina Kirori carried out a vehicle search on the vehicles involved in the veteran journalist abduction, which raises even more questions about the conduct and legality of the operations being carried out by the police. And while Macharia's incident is chilling in nature, it follows a disturbing trend of abductions that have happened to numerous Kenyans, which police officers may have today inadvertently admitted to being responsible for. We shall be having that story in just a bit as it is being put together. Now we cross over to the county of Nakuru, and the Independent Policing Oversight Authority (IPOA) has begun investigations into the shooting of MediaMax journalist Catherine Wanjeri Kariuki, who was injured on Tuesday while covering the anti-government protests. Journalists from Nakuru took to the streets, demanding the arrest and prosecution of the officer involved in the shooting, even as different journalist bodies condemned the incident. NTV's Ruth Sarmoiche-Senge joined the protests and now reports.
The protest kicked off outside the railway police station as we marched along Kenyatta Avenue in Nakuru, condemning the shooting of our colleague Wanjeri Kariuki while covering Tuesday's anti-government protest. The peaceful protests were fueled by chants and calls for justice over the incident that left Wanjeri with 3 rubber bullets lodged in her thigh.
4 female journalists who are from 4 different media houses yesterday, standing hapo kando ya Faulu Bank. Why would police officers just shoot aimlessly and target us?
Upon arrival at the Central Police Station, a scuffle ensued after officers manning the gate declined to allow us in to present our petition to Samuel Ndanyi, the Nakuru County Police Commander. A few minutes of heated arguments between the police and our leaders. The police gave way, and the Nakuru Journalists Association chairperson Joseph Openda read a statement.
We want to see arrest and prosecution of the officer involved.
We also demanded for proper measures to be put in place to assure our safety at work. We asked whether police lack clear guidelines and training on how to engage with journalists while in the field.
The safety and freedom of the press are fundamental to our democracy. It is essential that we work together to uphold these values. Yes. So there's power! Failure to produce the culprit will leave us with no option but to camp at your office until justice is served. Journalist power!
Sisi kama shirika la mawakili kupitia kwa Public Interest Litigation Committee tutaanza private prosecution, alafu tufanye vile tumefanya, na tutamshtaki vile vile for compensation, tutamshtaki vile vile for violation of human rights, for threat to the right to life under Article 26.
The Nakuru police boss had this to say.
We are going to hand over this investigation to IPOA because you all know IPOA is very independent from the police, so that whatever that IPOA will tell you will be we don't want accusation that maybe these are cover-up from the police. These are just police officers.
Ndanyi, however, failed to respond to our queries on why police officers were patrolling with vehicles that had concealed number plates. Elsewhere, journalists in Kiambu joined the protests, marching into the streets of Kiambu town in condemnation of the incident. The Independent Policing Oversight Authority has commenced investigations into the matter as Wanjeri continues to receive treatment here at the Nakuru Annex Hospital after undergoing surgery. Ruth Sarmoiche-Senge, NTV in Nakuru.
May she have a quick and bearable recovery. Now back to our top story, and veteran journalist Macharia Gaitho says he intends to sue the state over his abduction early Wednesday, which the National Police Service says is a case of mistaken identity. NTV's Ngina Kirori carried out a vehicle search on the vehicles involved in the veteran journalist's abduction, which raises even more questions about the conduct and legality of the operations being carried out by the police. And while Macharia's incident is chilling in nature, it follows a disturbing trend of abductions that have happened to numerous Kenyans, which police officers may have today inadvertently admitted to being responsible for. Here now is that report.
Perhaps he did not know it at the time, but by the time the son of veteran journalist Macharia Gaitho took this video of his father being bundled into this white pro box, it would form a critical part of the evidence of what transpired Wednesday morning as it gained widespread attention on social media.
I was blocked by a civilian car. As I was waiting for it to move out, two other men came on my left side where I was seated. My son was driving, opened the door and tried to pull me out. They did not identify themselves, so I refused to get out of the car and instructed my son to drive away. They followed us and we decided to come to Karen police station.
It is here at the Karen police station that Macharia and his son Andrew tried to seek refuge and report this navy blue Subaru Forester, registration number KCB 847F, which had blocked them and tried to kidnap Macharia. Unknown to the father and son was a danger lay in wait as this white Probox registration number KBC 725J emerged and its occupants pulled Macharia out of his car and into the Probox. Even more concerning are the police officers, clearly marked in uniform, who are seen assisting to push Macharia into the white Probox.
They drove me down Langata Road up to near, I think around the turning of Langata South Road, where they stopped, made a few calls. I don't know to who, but I gather they were talking to their superior.
NTV conducted a search on the white Probox, registration number KBC 725J, and found that it is registered to a one Stephen Kimathi. But interestingly, the make of the car on the motor vehicle copy of records is different. It instead states that the make is a Toyota Corolla. There may be an explanation for this, as a closer look at the car's number plate reveals that the letter C appears doctored, raising questions about the legality of the vehicle used to bundle off the veteran journalist, as well as the legality of the individuals who carried out the act. Further, NTV carried out a search on the Subaru Forester that initially blocked Macharia and his son as they left their home. Watch what happens when the search is carried out, because strangely, the National Transport and Safety Authority NTSA portal prevents me from searching for the vehicle and does not yield any results.
I have never had to go through abduction, kidnapping by people who I do not know whether they are police or whether they are terrorists. An 18-year-old young man going through that, seeing his father abducted in a very brutal, violent fashion, must be very traumatizing. It is traumatizing for my mom in Nyeri at the age of 95, getting this news that her son has been abducted and she doesn't know by who.
As if the abduction of Macharia Gaidho wasn't bad enough, the National Police Service, via their official channels, stated that the whole incident was a case of mistaken identity, claiming they mistook Macharia Gaidho for blogger Francis Gaidho.
We cannot be cowed. I think we were there during the struggle against the one-party dictatorship. If we resisted Moi, who are these ones?
When asked whether he intends to sue the state for damages,
we also note Macharia Gaidho's demands that we escalate this to command responsibility. We have a historical case where we've done this, the Baby Pendo case.
Sadly, Macharia Gaidho's incident isn't different from what other Kenyans have had to endure in the past few weeks since the anti-government protests began.
If it means going to the streets, that's what we are going to do. And that's why we agreed that as media fraternity, next week Wednesday, we are issuing a 7-day notice starting today. Next week Wednesday, we are calling for a nationwide protest.
The Kenya Editors Guild wants immediate action taken against those who attempted to forcefully seize the veteran journalist. The IPOA headquarters were the final stop for Macharia Gaidho and his legal team as they sought to complain over today's abductions, which they rubbish as a case of mistaken identity. This is a case they say they are willing to take to the state's doorstep as they complain over the trauma he suffered earlier today. Ngena Kirori, NTV, Nairobi.
One of the two young men killed by police in Kibwezi in the county of Makueni had discouraged his peers from taking to the streets. Dennis Lubaga's warning might have been a premonition as he was felled by a bullet on his commute home from work. NTV spoke with survivors of the police brutality during the weekly anti-government protests that have left more than 50 people dead since they began. Bridget Singana with more.
On the cloth line hangs one of the overalls Dennis Lubaga would have worn to work today. Only that he died on Tuesday, felled by a police bullet despite not taking part in the protests.
Ule jamaa last word yake kuniambia kabla atoke pale, aliniambia yeye apendi maandamano. na tusiende kwa hiyo maandamano. So hata yeye hakuwa hapo kabisa. Na ile hata si kama walimshoot, ile ni kama wali execute. Juu walimpiga risasi na wakaingia kwa gari wakicheka.
Sasa hii ni usalama, wanasema watu wasiandamane ama ni kuzidisha maandamano ama wanataka watu wafanye. Tutakimbilia kwa serikali gani kama serikali iko namna hii?
No one was safe in Mjini, as even the elderly were not spared the wrath of the trigger-happy police who were unprovoked.
Nikaona gari ya polisi imetoka nyuma yangu. Kuangalia hivi wakashuka na kukimbizana na mimi. Wakanirusha risasi mbili ya upande kwa upande. Nilipoinama wakanirusha ingine, ikaniumiza kichwa. Nilikuwa hata pengine nataka kufaint sababu nilikuwa nimebleed sana. Nikabidi sasa niende nitafutiwe maji na watu. Nioshwe ndio nipelekwe hospitali.
Tunapokimbia askari wanatupa kiangas, wanatupia ile rubber bullet, life bullet. Hii patikana na life bullet hapa, kanipasua mguu.
Dennis was 30 years old and worked at a local sisal manufacturing company. Another young man killed by police is 23-year-old Alex Muteti.
Si mazee hatusikii poa. Juu wale polisi si tunajua wanafaa kutulinda. Lakini sasa wakianza kutuua, si unaona hiyo si poa.
Polisi wanatumia nguvu kuliko kiasi. Sababu wao badala kuwa watulivu, sababu watu wanaandamana maandamano ya amani, wao wanaanza kutumia bullets na kutumia tear gas.
Since the protests began, police have been criticized for their heavy-handed and brutal attacks on protesters, despite assurances from the Inspector General of Police that picketers will be accorded safety as they exercise their constitutional right. Bridget Ngana, NTV.
May the bereaved be comforted and may their kin rest in peace. And we shall have more stories about people who died in this protest after this break. But we take a short break. We'll be back with more. Stay with us.
You guys watched the game last night? Of course, on Showmax.
Showmax is on board?
Yeah, the Showmax app on your phone. Every Premier League game live for 500 bob a month.
Go serious?
Oh, no, niambie.
Yes. Match highlights, previews, reviews.
Goal Rush, The Righty Show. I love that guy. And don't forget your documentaries.
And you can rewind and pause any game live.
This is the one game I need us to rewind right now. Let's go.
Bro, I think it's Mike's turn.
Shika the new Showmax app today and get every Premier League game live on your phone for just 500 shillings a month. Shika Showmax, streaming for Africa.
Lego.
My skin is my identity, my strength. It's unique and deserves care made specially for me. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care with 5 oils and 5 vitamins. 48-hour nourishment. Helps reduce appearance of stretch marks in just 2 weeks. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care for your shade of beautiful.
Ah, the thrilling world of businesses in the city. Mato, you on speed dial. Looking for help with his LPO, he needs to deliver laptops fast. Enter Stanbic Bank, the game changer in LPO financing. And I get to expand his horizons. Huyu hapa ni Max, aki-import bills, lakini yuko in a tight fix, like his favorite pair of tight sweatpants. Working capital solution from Stanbic Bank in a come-through, sasa and expand his fashion empire to the max, literally. When our dada, a mobile money super agent, gets frantic calls to hawana float, through our digital solution, MJK Dada Boss can send float to a sea of agents to keep them all afloat. Grow your biashara and unlock your horizons with our payments and collections, vehicle and asset financing, unsecured bid bonds, LPO financing, insurance, cross-border solutions, and so much more. Stanbic Bank is regulated by the Central Bank of Kenya. Can we understand an unspoken language? itaweza sema habari ya asubuhi. Can it be a way to savor each moment? Or a way to get away? Sisi tunajua, it can start lifelong stories. Be the center of celebrations and so much more. Na ni lugha ambayo kila Mkenya anajua. The more the milk, the better the chai. Chai kweli ina Brookside Dairy Best.
Sometimes in football, the best team doesn't always walk away as the winner. Especially in the knockout rounds at a major tournament, where an off day or some bad luck can spell the end of a once promising campaign. At Euro 2024, Spain were undoubtedly the best team from start to finish, completing a perfect tournament to create European Championship history.
Welcome back to NTV Tonight. The family of a young man who was shot during Tuesday's protest in Kitengela in Kajiado County is appealing to the government to cover the burial costs of their loved one. According to the family, 19-year-old Charles Owino, who finished school last year, met his untimely death while on his way to get medicine from a shop nearby. This report was compiled by our reporter Frida Okachi.
Charles Owino's family says he was shot in the head during Tuesday's protest in Kitengela, having arrived on Sunday to visit his elder brother. During the intense clashes between the police and protesters, he lost his way and found himself caught up in the chaos. The deceased's family said he had been in Kibra for just 3 weeks, having come from Siaya, where he has been a student.
Polisi aliopen fire upande wa nyuma. Kapata bradangu akakufa hapo.
His sister, whom he was staying with in Kibra, expected the now deceased to return next week after his visit to Kitengela. Human rights organization Haki Africa has strongly condemned the actions of the police for using live bullets on citizens during protests.
No citizen deserves to die by a bullet that has been paid for by the taxpayers. Hii ni ushuru yetu. Zile tegas wanatumia ni ushuru wetu. Zile bunduki wanatumia ni ushuru wetu.
Charles' death adds to the growing list of protesters killed by police bullets during demonstrations.
A protester who was presumed dead after being felled by a bullet during Tuesday's protest is alive and kicking. NTV's Brian Moshiri traced 27-year-old Kevin Luvega at his house in Kangemi, where he narrated how he survived the shooting ordeal.
Tuesday, July 16th this year. Protests are in full swing in the capital, Nairobi. Moments after noon, CCTV cameras along Moi Avenue capture this incident. Demonstrators are captured running away from police officers along Moi Avenue. The CCTV footage, however, shows one of them falling to the ground after being hit. He falls on the concrete, blood oozing from his face. Shortly after, a crowd forms around him and they whisk him away to a nearby medical facility. The young man is 27-year-old Kevin Luvega. He is a well-known parking boy who operates around the Kimathi Street Jamia Mosque area. He says he was among the protesters.
Kuna karao mwenye sikumuona vizuri. Kanipiga ilikuwa ni tear gas. Kunipiga tear gas. Nikaanguka hata sikujisikia. Pande moja ilikuwa imepasuka. Hapo tu ndo nichanganikiwa. Kuna watu walikuja kanibeba.
Kevin, who was afterwards rushed to the Kenyatta National Hospital, says it took 3 hours before he was attended to.
Kukakaa hapo tukakaa watu walikuwa wengi hata huwezi shughulikiwa haraka. Isipokuwa tu kuna mtu mwenye alitusaidia hapo. Alikuwa mwanamke hivi, wakubwa huko kidogo. Damu ilikuwa inamwagika damu vibaya sana. Hapo nikatolewa. Kupelekwa hapo hivyo nikaambia nitulie kwanza hapo, nilikuwa kwa kiti, nilikuwa kwa kitanda. Nilikuwa nimelala tu. Lakini nilikuwa nasikia kasi miguu nilikuwa nasikia ni baridi. Sasa sikuwa naona kama jua inaweza kuwa.
His wife Imelda Tunya says she was in shock after receiving the news. Kevin says he was not given any medicine at the Kenyatta National Hospital.
Nilitaka kaniandikia madawa. Nikauliza dawa tupewe huku, akasema hapana, tutakuja kununua nje.
Kevin and his wife, however, have appealed to the police to desist from using excessive force on peaceful protesters. Kevin is lucky to be alive. The Kenya National Commission on Human Rights has put the number of those dead from anti-government protests at 53. Brian Mushiri, NTV, Nairobi.
It's great to see Kevin is alive, and we hope that he gets well soon. The autopsy on bodies recovered from a dump site in Kware in Mukuru, Kwanjenga slums has been concluded. Government pathologist Dr. Johansen Oduor, who conducted the post-mortem examination on the mutilated bodies, said some of them have decomposed, and hence getting finer details on how the victims may have died may be difficult. However, the team identified upper body parts with head injuries, indicating that the victims succumbed to excessive brain bleeding.
Government pathologist Dr. Johansen Oduor and a team of officers from Department of Criminal Investigations DCI on Wednesday finalized the post-mortem examination of the remains of 9 bodies that were retrieved from the Kware dump site. The exercise was conducted at the city mortuary where the body parts are preserved. Oduor revealed that some bodies recovered from the dump site had been dismembered into 2 almost equal parts.
Contents of 4 of them were limbs, lower limbs, which were amputated from the knees downwards, and there were 2 right legs and 2 left legs.
The pathologist explained that some bodies had parts separated with cuts through the lumbar area where the killer severed the spine,
which were from the waist to the knee. There were 3 of them, and then there was an upper trunk from the waist upward, which we assigned cause of death as strangulation.
The team, however, identified upper body parts with head injuries, indicating that the victims succumbed to excessive brain bleeding.
There was also a whole body of a female who we examined, and we found that she had head injury.
According to Johansen, the body parts are in bad shape as some were decomposing, and hence getting finer details on how the victims died may be difficult.
So bodies which are severely decomposed, it becomes very, very difficult to assign a cause of death, because there's what is called post-mortem artifacts, where so many tissues are gotten lost because of decomposition.
Investigations revealed that all recovered bodies were female.
We've not seen any injuries which can be assigned to a bullet from externally, or even examination of the bodies. And remember also, we are taking samples for DNA for the purpose of maybe reconciling with each piece, so that we can know how many bodies we have. Because right now, as I said, you can find there's a right limb, a left limb. You cannot tell that this person, isn't it?
This came as the DCI today retrieved a skull at the dump site, which was later taken at the Nairobi City mortuary. Meanwhile, families gathered at the morgue to identify the remains of their loved ones. Among those present was the family of 24-year-old Roslyn Akoth, who had been reported missing. The family had been desperately searching for her since her mysterious disappearance on June 28th. Akoth was living with her sister-in-law in Kware Pipeline. Their worst fears were confirmed when they found Akoth among the deceased.
Tukaangalia mwili, madada zake wakakonfirm ni yeye, hayuko mwili mzima. Mwili ni nusu. Kipande ni kutokea kwa kiuno kukuja juu. Kutoka kwa kiuno kwenda kwa miguu haiko. Na mwili, yani hata ukimwangalia huwezi jua kama hujamwangalia vizuri huwezi tambua ni yeye.
The family says part of the exhibits this year recovered belongs to Akoth.
Kuna handbag ya pink yenye Rosa alitoka nayo kwa nyumba hiyo siku asubuhi. Tuliletewa, tukakagua zile vitu, ikawa handbag ni hiyo. Na hiyo handbag ndani yake ilikuwa na socks moja ambayo ni ya Rose. Ukawa socks nyingine moja iko kwa nyumba, sasa moja iko DCI. Kwa hivyo ni yeye.
Karen Haveri has come to look for her daughter, Elaine Hayele. The distraught mother said she lost contact with her daughter in May 2023. They were living together in Sinai Pipeline. Elaine worked with a company that exports vegetables at the JKA airport.
Hiyo mili nimeangalia lakini sijaona ule anarisembo kama yeye. Sasa wakachukua DNA nitakuja kuchukua results nijue vile kumeenda.
Authorities are now relying on autopsies to demystify the discoveries which have shocked the nation. Rozongoi, NTV.
I think we do need a break on this bulletin. We take a short break. After this, Nina Shaban comes with the latest in business. Stay with us.
Ngozi yako ina glow. Nilijipaka mafuta leo asubuhi nikikam, lakini skin yangu ishaparara and it looks so dull. Sis, see, it's the new Nice and Lovely Lemon Extract Body Lotion. Hii ndo secret yangu to a moisturized and bright skin. Usimix.
New Nice and Lovely Lemon Lotion, enriched with vitamin C and sunflower seed oil for 48-hour nourishing glow and brighter skin. Try Nice and Lovely Lemon Lotion today.
Need a cab? Order Faras. Get up to 30% discount when you ride with Faras. Faras. Safe, affordable, and convenient.
Five questions with Sarah. Hi guys. Wow, Sarah, your skin is glowing. What beauty soap do you use? I use a beauty soap that keeps my skin soft, moisturized, and protected from germs. But Sarah, the beauty soaps I know don't give germ protection. Dettol Skincare does. It combines the trusted protection of Dettol with 2 times moisturizers to protect my skin from germs and keeps my skin soft with a beautiful fragrance. Beautiful skin is germ-free skin.
Mwezi wa July 28 namtangaza mshindi wa Demio. Na kama utaki na umeshinda.
Mimi siku hizi sinanga furaha. Niko na huzuni na mawazo mingi. Tangu nione hiyo kitu ni kama kichwa changu imesimama. Najua familia yangu wananisangaa lakini hawatanielewa. Hii kitu nikisinda, najua ndoto yangu itatimizika.
Mam, mbona umelala mchana?
Hiyo gari ya moto ndio inanikula kile mtoto yangu.
Mam, na si basi dial *570#.
Kwenye *570# kuna Mazda Demio. Chagua option 4 na ujipatie tikiti ya kuingia kwenye draw. Ushindi wako tunautangaza on 28 of July. Tucheze, tusaidie, tushinde.
A very good evening to you. I do trust that the night has been kind to you. It is time to take a look at the business news, and my name is Nina Shaban. The Nairobi Securities Exchange seems to be losing its listed firms, even with President William Ruto's promise to have 6 to 8 firms listed as he took power as president. Now, we are seeing the opposite, with Bamburi Cement, one of the boss jewels, on the verge of being delisted if Tanzanians' Amson Group has its way. Let's take a look at the details on this episode of On the Money. Private investors are pouncing on Nairobi Securities Exchange NSE-listed firms and taking them away from the boss in a blow to the market that is struggling to attract new listings. Bamburi Cement, one of NSE's iconic blue-chip firms, is the latest target of private investors and will be delisted if Tanzania-based Amson's Group's 23.59 billion shilling bid sails through. According to Eric Musau, Standard Investments Bank head researcher, delisting isn't really the bone of contention.
If you start closing the taps on exiting the market, you might even stifle on the entry part. I think the issue is that we should keep both sides open, try and encourage companies to come into the market when the needs arise, and then be able to exit from the market at an appropriate time, at a premium to the market. We've seen, for example, Bamburi, it's a 44% premium to the last closing price.
Girls, ladies and gentlemen, and the ringing of the bell signifies.
In the year 2023, after settling into power, President William Ruto said the Nairobi Securities Exchange was going to see between 5 to 8 initial public offerings, IPOs, from state-owned and private firms by December of the same year. However, this was not realized, with the likes of Credit Bank, which had planned to list, getting private equity from Showcup instead.
My administration will revitalize the capital markets by embarking on privatization of state-owned enterprises, where divestiture is overdue and strategic.
Ferdinand Othieno, a senior consultant in technical corporate finance, says investors eyeing companies require due diligence on metrics such as growth projections, profitability, revenue generation, and cost of capital, and find it easier to go for NSE firms since most of this information is easier to find.
When you're on the stock market, this has already been done for me. You have already reported, you have already complied. And therefore, my due diligence cost is much lower compared to if the company was privately owned.
Many public companies are also currently trading at a discount to their underlying net assets values, creating an opportunity for private investors to deploy their massive unspent capital to launch into the country.
When you look at markets, the role they're supposed to play is to raise capital for the companies to grow, and an eventual avenue is actually an exit. And so what we've seen on the exit side is something natural. So we've seen companies being bought and getting out of the market. I think the pipeline we've lacked is really in more companies coming into the market. And so at the end of the day, the exit is not really the challenge. It's the entry that's really the big challenge, and the growth of companies while they're in the market.
Unilever Tea Kenya left the bourse after its main shareholder, Brookbond, bought out minority shareholders for $356.5 million in 2008. While Access Kenya exited after Dimension Data Holdings acquired all the shares for $3.05 billion in 2013. Main shareholder, Rare Trading, bought all the issued shares of Rare Vipingo. CMC delisted after Alpha Time Group, a United Arab Emirates conglomerate, acquired it fully for $7.5 billion. Marshall East Africa exited the bourse after Global Limited, a firm which then owned 13.9%, rallied shareholders to take the company private by offering to buy out all the shareholders who did not wish to go private, pointing to the power of deep-pocketed investors. French oil firm Rubis Energies, which had a 25% stake in Canal Corbeil, acquired the balance of $35.7 billion and delisted it in 2019. While KCB acquired NBK and merged it with its own operations, and now KCB has accepted a bid from Access Bank of Nigeria to sell the bank for about $14 billion in a deal that will see NBK hived off from its books and sold. Eric says it is, however, a negative having fewer stable companies on the NSE, since it reduces the options for investors seeking to spread their risks in different stocks. Currently, the top 5 stocks by market capitalization, Safaricom Equity, East Africa Breweries, Kenya Commercial Bank and Cooperative Bank of Kenya, account for $1.15 trillion or 67% of the market's total value. Both Eric and Ferdinand agree that having no pipeline of new companies entering the NSE could point to a fundamental problem in the economy, as opposed to what the Capital Markets Authority is doing or not doing right.
The economy has to work right. The valuations have to work right. This element around listing really is about the economy. And when we say the exchange is the heartbeat of the economy, or it's an indicator of what the economy is doing, it's really the companies in the economy that list on the exchange. So we're not looking and we may be looking for companies from outside Kenya, but at the very essence, we're looking at companies in Kenya, getting them to grow and seek growth capital from the market.
So the fragmentation in the capital market has borrowed from the primary markets. The primary markets are the ones, so if I ask you, cost of capital is usually what we call opportunity cost. So if I gave you 1 million today, where would you rather invest? Would you rather invest in a stock market or real estate or bond market? A fundamental question is, if I'm a commercial bank today, during the interest rate cap, this is when the question was very important. So you capped at 13%. So I need to lend to you at 13%, but I can borrow and lend to government at 12.75%. So the spread of 0.25 is supposed to cater for my credit monetary costs. Do you want to do that? You wouldn't as a commercial bank. So it only made sense you go to the bond market. What that does is then the financial system has what we call a dislocation. So there is friction in the market, which means the ultimate sufferer of that friction or dislocation is the equity market. That is the most risky investment you have in any capital market setup.
39 adds that many companies are not growing enough to go for initial public offers, IPOs, at the NSE, while those that are growing to the level of entering the bourse are ending up attracting capital in form of private equity, where they deal with fewer investors capable of giving them the financial muscles that they need without having to go through the tedious capital markets regulatory process and still not be guaranteed of raising the money. Nina Shaban, NTV. And on to more business news. The High Court has ordered the liquidation of United Insurance Company Limited more than a decade after it was placed under statutory management. Justice Alfred Mabere ruled that records shows that the company does not have enough money to keep it running, and the judge said that the insurer was unable to fulfill the expectations of its policyholders or potential customers. Justice Mabere said that the shareholders have not injected or were not willing to inject any additional capital to keep the company running or to offset the huge debts that bedeviled the firm. Golf and sports clubs are reprieved and paying subscription fees. And that's it for business news tonight. My name is Nina Shaban. We'll take a quick break and Dan Wangi will be back with more news.
This is NTV.
Kupitia kwa star 570 hash tunakupa nafasi ya kuchomoka na this brand new Mazda Demio.
Enjoy a beautiful, clean, semi-leather interior, low mileage, touchscreen and a reverse cam, fuel-efficient 1300cc engine, great for personal use and business.
Ukitaka kujishindia gari hili, kucheza ni rahisi sana. Chukua simu yako, bonyeza star 570 hash, chagua option number 4, kisha unajiunga na draw. Kumbuka kucheza mara kadhaa, because the more you play, the higher chances of wewe kuwa mshindi.
Gari ya pili ni yako. Ni yako.
Hii Julai, jishindie Demio na Loto Moto. Tucheze, tusaidie na tushinde.
Acne-prone skin? Marks? Stop. Try new Garnier Charcoal Serum with 4% AHA, BHA and charcoal. The first black serum with no residue. Clinically proven to reduce pimples and acne marks. New Garnier AHA BHA Charcoal Serum, approved by dermatologists by Garnier Naturally.
Kote nchini mbele tuendelee, mbele Kenya twende mbele,
Kenya twende mbele. NCBA, go for it.
Wavemark Properties brings meticulously crafted residential properties in prime locations in Nyali, Mombasa with the highest construction standards ranging from 90 to 500 square meters. Features include breathtaking ocean views, infinity pools, fully fitted gyms, smart access, and 24-hour surveillance. All this with close proximity to the beach. Become a part of the elite few to own these masterpieces. Log on to www.wavemarkproperties.com or call 0743 666 222. Properties available in the exclusive and much sought after Nyali, Mombasa.
Welcome back to NTV Tonight. Now, Azimio la Umoja One Kenya parliamentary group ended in chaos after rowdy youth stormed and disrupted a press conference by Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka. The leaders present had to scamper for safety after the meeting was thrown into disarray following the leaders' decision to distance themselves from a proposal to dialogue with President William Ruto. NTV's political affairs reporter Vincent Oduor tells us more.
And who had their properties destroyed during...
No sooner had Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka begun reading a resolution from the Azimio group meeting than chaos erupted. The agitated youth stormed the venue, claiming they will not allow any leader to disrespect Azimio coalition party leader Raila Odinga. This happened just moments after Odinga and some top ODM officials, including Hassan Joho and Wycliffe Oparanya, had left. It is said the leaders present at the meeting differed on whether to fully support a proposal by President William Ruto to be part of the National Dialogue Forum and a broad-based political framework, or reject any kind of a broad-based political working agreement with President Ruto. In the statement that was to be read by Kalonzo, the Azimio PG had resolved that Azimio Oka coalition will not be part of the proposed broad-based or any other government with the Kenya Kwanza coalition. The meeting considered the need for a people-driven national constitutional convention as a possible pathway towards the resolution of the national crisis, subject to the consensus and concurrence of other stakeholders. The PG also demanded action to be taken against rogue police officers who shot, maimed, and killed peaceful protesters during the recent demonstrations, interdiction of top police officers who presided over the atrocities, the release of abducted Kenyans, and compensation from the government of all those who were killed by rogue officers in the protests last year and in the ongoing protests. Vincent Oduor, NTV.
No attempts to resolve the long-term conflict between members of the Meru County Assembly and Governor Kawira Mwangaza have hit a hard rock. This is after ward representatives tabled a notice of motion to impeach Mwangaza for the third time. Deputy Minority Leader Zipporah Kinya accused Kawira of abuse of office and misappropriation of public funds. Margaret Kimathi was in Meru and now tells us more from there.
Her woes began barely 4 months after she assumed office as the third governor of Meru County, when the county assembly first attempted to impeach Mwangaza in November 2022, before the motion was stopped by the court due to lack of public participation.
For the law of society, the just government of the people.
And a third, the determined MCAs filed the second motion shortly after and impeached the governor, only for the Senate to reject the allegations leveled against her in December 2022. In November last year, the ward representatives filed another impeachment motion, which was also dismissed by a resolution of the Senate. On Wednesday, nominated MCA Zipporah Kinya tabled the notice of motion on counts of abuse of office and misappropriation of public funds, kicking off the process of removing the county boss from office.
The governor's continued stay in office has persistently undermined effective and efficient service delivery and gravely hurt the interest of the people of the county. Honorable Speaker, the Assembly therefore resolves to impeach the Governor of Meru under the Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Government Acts.
Governor Kawira Mwangaza was notified of the allegations, which include irregularly paying 74 million shillings as emergency call allowances to doctors, employing 111 personal staff, leading to a wage bill of 500,000 million shillings, and paying about 103 million shillings in salaries through a manual payroll.
She has been given an opportunity to come and also say something about the motion to defend herself actually. Before we embark on sitting down and debating on the motion to send her home. Then from there, we'll have the motion will be sent to Nairobi after we have passed it here.
Governor Kawira, through a post on her social media platforms, seemed to be confident on her stay in office despite the allegations, saying, and I quote, "The battle is won. Enemy is dead on arrival."
Joto ile wako nayo ni ya kwamba watu wako na interest ya kiti ya governor wengi. Wengine wanachagua wachache pale, wanaambia watakuwa CC, watakuwa chief officers, wanajaribu kundivide Meru County. Asa especially wakubwa wa juu.
This comes after a section of residents drafted a petition to President William Ruto seeking the dissolution of the Meru County government. The 9 petitioners want the county government dissolved, saying that the conflict between the executive and the assembly has created 2 camps in the county, affecting development.
Lakini hao MCA wetu tunataka wote waende. Hakuna kitu wanatusaidia. Ni masiasa tu walianza kutoka tuliwachagua vizuri.
We don't fear the dissolution of Meru County. If the dissolution of Meru County is what will take Meru to get healed, or Meru to have peace, and the citizens of Meru to get delivery of services, then let it be.
Even after attempting to oust Governor Kawira Mwangaza twice unsuccessfully, the members of County Assembly now insist they have enough evidence to eject her from office. Now, will Kawira survive the 3rd impeachment motion? Margaret Kimathi, NTV in Meru County.
And that brings us to the end of NTV tonight. Thank you for joining us on this broadcast. Myself, alongside the team that has made this happen, as well as, and not forgetting, David Agondoa, who has been on the sign language petition. And tonight we were not able to run 12 minutes in light of the various key stories that we had, but we shall be resuming the same as we go along with our broadcast in the coming days. Thank you for joining us. My name is Dan Mwangi. God bless. Good night.
This is NTV.
Mwezi wa Julai 28 namtangaza mshindi wa Demio nayo na kama utaki na umeshinda.
Mimi siku hizi sinanga furaha, niko na huzuni na mawazo mingi. Tangu nione hiyo kitu ni kama kichwa changu imesimama. Najua familia yangu wananisangaa, lakini hawatanielewa. Hii kitu nikisinda, najua ndoto yangu itatimizika.
Mom. Mbona umelala mchana?
Hiyo gari la tumoto ndio inanikula kile mtoto yangu.
Mom, na si basi dial *570#.
Kwenye *570# kuna Master Daniel. Chagua option 4 na ujipatie tikiti ya kuingia kwenye draw. Ushindi wako tunautangaza on 28 of July. Tucheze, tusaidie, tushinde.
The moment I feel my pain starting to fade, it's like I'm going back to myself on a really good day.
Panadol Extra releases you from strong pain. Panadol, release starts here.
Sometimes in football, the best team doesn't always walk away as the winner. Especially in the knockout rounds at a major tournament, where an off day or some bad luck can spell the end of a once promising campaign. At Euro 2024, Spain were undoubtedly the best team from start to finish, completing a perfect tournament to create European Championship history.
Are you ready? Kuna moja mbele, ngine yende rembe. Apu dem, apu dem, apu dem, apu. Kuna moja mbele, ngine yende rembe. Apu dem, apu dem, apu dem. Kwa sherehe tumefika.
Lete kingari ni kusitia kifua. Niko na dem, mwenye kona dem pia. Masa flani ekifika na wachangamkia. After scene kabaridi sezi nkatulia.
Tunakubali. Gateka. Gateka.
Cash pop za Nyandarua ni mawaru.
Only on NTV.
The truth is not governed. The truth governs our beliefs, our faith, the trust we give, the democracy we seek. When held back, it always breaks free. Seek the truth. Set yourself free. Subscribe to read online at epaper.nation.africa. Daily Nation, the truth unfiltered.
What is Generation Z? Beyond age, it's a culture, laughter, and conversations that matter. Speaking of Gen Z podcast is back with Gen Z's finest, Esther Nyandoro, Jackie Masharia, and Michelle Namasaka. Tune in every Wednesday on Nation FM at 10 a.m. and stream your favorite episodes on nation.africa or www.ntvkenya.co.ke or wherever you get your podcasts. Speaking of Gen Z podcast, it's giving wholesome conversations.
Sometimes in football, the best team doesn't always walk away as the winner. Especially in the knockout rounds at a major tournament, where an off day or some bad luck can spell the end of a once promising campaign. At Euro 2024, Spain were undoubtedly the best team from start to finish, completing a perfect tournament to create European Championship history.
Want to know the biggest story of the week? Do not worry. The Weekly Review got you covered. For in-depth analysis of politics, business, governance, as well as social issues, the Weekly Review covers it all. For well-researched, exclusive and investigative content, read the Weekly Review every Sunday in the Sunday Nation.
Kuna mbomu 15,000 nachukua mbomu. Zinakwenda. Nahitaji diaper.
Kimeumana.
39 40,000 shillings. Namba 3. King kang. Na 50,000.
50,000 Kenya shillings!
Grand, mega.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated PG. It may contain scenes unsuitable for children under the age of 10.
Ni aje wale wasee manze, ni girl de mwana hapa hivi yona.
Oza nito Sanchez Mali hapa, host wako hapa kama dawa.
Exactly, na kuna tune in for the very first time manze, ini
Shujaz TV. Na leo manze tumeingia area ya Rongai ati 125 to the city.
Mazaronga ni zi.
Ai, ati 125 to the city.
Mazaronga ni zi.
Oza makomre dote kuanzia pale MMU. Kwea nakwambia wasi wa Masai Lodge wote manzi, nakwambia tumeingia Rongai na tuko in a deep place juu yako mtu wangu.
Manzi najua imewaka tu venye si tumewaka leo manzi, cheki kama una tujoin sasa na unataka kujua venye unaweza tu reach communicate na sisi pia, mna niombanga namba tu sana bro. Ni 0718921170 tudungie MC.
Na bado pale kwa socials tutapata kwa Facebook, Instagram na TikTok @Shujaz Kenya, sawa? Umesikia huko Rongai watu wanauziwa masimba carpet? Walai.
Miss Daizo for siko Dubai.
Usijali episode nayo unaweza kutana na simba hivi ovyo kichunga, au sio?
Lakini cheki. Kwanza kuna episode fulani niliwatch Astra last time. Ili niacha hanging by, mimi nataka kujua nini happen next.
Ndio hiyo Hispanic this time tena drama inazidi kuongezeka, au sio? Twende tucheki episode ya this week inakaaje, au sio? Twende sana.
Twende nayo.
Akikuzopo lejo for everything that tunapitia. Teresia, acha nikwambie. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Unajua mother-in-law anafikiria ameniweza, anijui mimi. Exactly, that's the spirit. Nakwambia nitatia bidii kwa hii biz. Na by the time baraza ya chief inakuja inakutana, wataona vile biz imeomoka na vile records za biz ziko sawa. And not what they are saying, ati nafanya umalaya hii Nairobi. Mwas, niaje umerukia vitabu mapema hivi?
Hebu tufanye weekly meeting yetu saa hizi. Kwa sababu hii pattern iko hapa ikiendelea tutaumia.
Kwani WhatsApp?
Ona iko column yote. Hii yote ni ya wase wanatu odo.
Hido yote.
Imagine. Na ujue sasa tuna struggle na cash flow. Na ndo hao suppliers wanabisha.
Manze lazima tu change strategy. Nakwambia bure. Tutaangusha busy.
Naona hata inafaa twende tudai wase wanatu odo sai. Kwa sababu tusipo hata itulipa.
Teresia, uangalie busy. Sawa. Mteja kikamu na Nicole. Sawa. Poa. Sasa tuanzie wapi? Tuanze na Makena. Hata umefanya poa kujileta.
Ati. Na hiyo smile yako, smile yako inatafuta mbali sana kai pesa kwa economy.
Hata umefanya poa kutaja hiyo pesa. Juu pesa ndo tunahitaji. Na nikiangalia hapa, uko na deni yetu.
Ai, unaandikaje jina yangu kwa kitabu ya deni nyinyi? Kwanza si uko na deni yangu. Nilipe, then niwalipe.
Hiyo deni na kani personal, si ya biz.
Haya, Junyi mmeandika zenyu kwa makaratasi mnadhani atukumbuki zetu. Mwas, unakumbuka ulinunulia J breko hapa juzi ya nguvu kwanza ya 350? Unakumbuka?
Nakumbuka.
Sawa basi. Nilipe hiyo 350 niwapatie 250 yenyu.
Mwas. Yani kuna madeni huku nje na wewe ndio umekataa tupatie watu credit.
Nice. It was nice doing business with you too, eh?
Makena na uweke records kwa book. Si kwa memory utakuja kujichanganya wewe.
Book endeni kwanza. Endeni huko. Tede, sasa, kuna plates zangu zote hapa?
Tulizirudisha zote.
Uko sure?
Niko sure.
Thank you.
Hey, Makena. Niaje.
Fiti.
Chikisifanyaje? Swambie je tuangushe mzinga. Hii ni birthday month yake.
Hey, really? Na unajua msee wa nguvu kawe unafaa kucelebrate wa vipoa, eh? Sikiza, mini events planner mzee. Wewe nipatie tu budget ni kutengeneze bash ingine moto. Kwanza leo siku.
Napenda hiyo idea. Fanyaje? Wacha mimi nitashughulikia debe nige kwa hiyo budget.
Na mimi Kajitubu Hotel, tutengeneza ambience ikae. Drinks nazo kwa wingi. Watoto nao. Wacha. Lakini unaonaje?
Mimi siwezi kataa sherehe bana. Siwezi kataa sherehe. Alafu itakuaje?
Sasa Kenya utadu, tupatie tu budget sai, tuanze tu kuplan hizi staff.
Sasa niambie form ni gani unaona kama unahitaji ngapi?
Nyenye tuko nayo.
Shika hii, sindio?
Aha. Na mimi?
Alafu
za debe.
Yenye bash bila debe. Naishike manze.
Mambo ina mambo.
Yes, now we are talking, Sherehe, party after party!
Wasi. Nimesikia jina party ama nimekosea?
Sherehe tunayo.
Sawa, acha mimi niende hivyo ning'are.
Teke.
Ajue story. Wacha mimi nikasort system.
Very fast.
Si baadaye.
Nawambia leo ni leo umama fungieni vijana wenyu kwa sababu leo tunawaharibu. Alafu unaona wase leo mkipata chance hivi msijifungie all the way. Naambia mfanya advantage yake hamwezi pata ball, mimi ndo nawashu.
We Chebi, acha mauongo zako. Teresia, usikize udemu. Kana kama kachizi kidogo, Ukienda mechi dry fry, utapata ball. Unataka kuona mtoto hapa sahi?
Dry fry ni nini?
Ati dry fry. Bila condom.
Mr. Kizo story. Kwanza nakumbuka venye familia yachi waliteseka after Achi alipata ball before ndoa. Nimechill.
Ni vizuri umechill, Leo itabidi umekutransform utese kabisa, Lakini hebu itabidi nimekupatia nguo zangu zingine juu sijui pale unaenda na hizo nguo za kesha.
Nakwambia. Unajua siamini how much of our money ilikuwa imelala huko nje.
But at least tumekota half. Unaona kutoka leo hakuna credit.
Na tukilose customers juu tumekosa kuwapatia credit. Mimi naona tuwapatie but maybe on a case by case.
Hapana Achi. Unaona hii mtaa ni ndogo sana. Na kila mtu kimpea credit ataenda kuongea na ule mwingine. So wataona nikaa kuna discrimination. Na hivyo ndo tuta lose clients.
Na kuelewa. I can't wait for us to rock those places.
They don't think to have fun. Have Malik.
Achi. Mwas. Mulikuwa wapi manje? Naambia leo siku tunaenda kusherehekea birthday party ya.
Una kierere yote yako. Uji birthday ni ya nani? Ni ya Jay. Na by the way amelipia kila kitu, So, nini kujileta, So mnasemaje you guys then? Silikwambia dress itafit. Silikusho. Mimi let me see. Look at you.
cousin yangu. Tulisha agree no mixing business with pleasure. Plus she's working for us.
Niaje?
Poa.
Nakaa fiti.
Asante. Let's go party!
Hey, manze bash imeweza manze. Thanks for doing this for me.
The pleasure is all mine. Asante kusupport this.
Hey, biz pekee.
Ndio.
Nice party.
Thanks. Na leo watu wameogana sabuni different. Looking good.
Asante.
Utasip kiasi? Hey, I think you should slow down,
Mbona? Tamu? Beza napenda hii wimbo.
See, you come to dance.
Wow.
So, unaendaje?
Nimekunywa kidogo, lakini sijui mbona nasikia nimelewa.
Kwani umekunywa tumbler ngapi?
Hii ni ya pili.
Hiyo imetosha.
Mbona?
Makena ni mama pima mnoma sana. Kiongeza ingine, utableki. Kama tutulia hapa.
Chevi. Mshikaji wako.
Huyu ni mkopa na shika juice yangu. Yes. Anyways, then it's still young.
Si wewe ndo unasemanga ati mapema ndio best.
Ule ni Tere. Venye inajifanya kaka innocent. Kumbe ni kajanja hivyo.
Wewe. Cheki vile anamzungushia. No.
Nakwambia tu zile za huyu amegraduate. Hatufai kumuita jina holi kama Teresia ni move.
Wewe, unajua tunafaa kumuita nini? Tricks.
Tunakuwa na
tricks mbaya.
I mean, that guy was never there. He was never there for the kid. Alafu anakuja all of a sudden anasema ati anataka mtoi. Mimi hata najua si anataka mtoi, najua ni huyo madhaki anataka huyo mtoto. Mimi sijui mbona unanifanyia hivi.
Wavemark Properties brings meticulously crafted residential properties in prime locations in Nyali, Mombasa with the highest construction standards ranging from 90 to 500 square meters. Features include breathtaking ocean views, infinity pools, fully fitted gyms, smart access, and 24-hour surveillance. All this with close proximity to the beach. Become a part of the elite few to own these masterpieces. Log on to www.wavemarkproperties.com or call 0743 666 222. Properties available in the exclusive and much sought after Nyali, Mombasa.
Sometimes in football, the best team doesn't always walk away as the winner. Especially in the knockout rounds at a major tournament, where an off day or some bad luck can spell the end of a once promising campaign. At Euro 2024, Spain were undoubtedly the best team from start to finish, completing a perfect tournament to create European Championship history.
Wapwani walalamika, vizazi vinapotea, vijana wanachizika na hawataki kuwa, wanatafuna muguka, kazi wanazikimbia, pwani hatutaki tena muguka na mairungi. Miraleni wenyewe na muache kutufosi.
Kupata pwani hatutaki tena. Kama skiza tune yako, bonyeza *812 *805#.
Skiza na Nation.
Self-reflection, continuous learning, and always putting yourself out of your comfort zone. These are some of the key elements needed in personal growth.
Kutoka masuala ya maadili, uhusiano wa kihisia, hadi masuala ya fedha, mzazi wa kiume ni muhimu sana kwa familia yake.
Personal growth is an individual journey that is influenced by one's beliefs and values.
Wanaume, ukisimama mbele ya wanaume wenzako, unatoa kifua mbele, unajikaza kiasi, si ndio?
Katika dunia inayobadilika kila uchao, ni jukumu lako wewe kama baba mzazi kuilinda familia yako kwa vyovyote vile. Ungana nasi tarehe 3 Agosti mwaka huu hapa Tilisi kwa gumzo la mwaka la Man Cave Season 4.
To all car enthusiasts, we got you covered. We are bringing you a fully fledged car clinic. Also join us for amazing sumptuous meals. Not forgetting, grab your tickets at www.kenyabus.com. Tupatane Man Cave.
Uweza wagon kama dawa tuliwaambia drama inaendelea kuongezeka pale Shujaa Strauss sio?
Wazee kuna kitu imenichekesha bro. Umecheki venye Makena amepull reverse on Mwas.
Gani hiyo?
Ati ampatie 350 yake amrudishie 250. Na Mwas manzi ni mlaina amefanya tu hivyo.
Lakini si deni inafaa hivyo. Ukiwa na deni ya msesi unafaa una balance, unamwambia wewe kata hii. Alafu nijenge yangu.
Hata Heritu angebaki kwa salon manzi. Abaki na hiyo deni yake kwa sasa hii ame minus 100 manzi.
Anyway, hii episode na imekuwa ikiguzia mambo ya sherehe, mambo ya bookkeeping, mambo ya kaa hizo, lakini acha tuone cast ilikuwa inasema aje this time.
Twende nayo.
Welcome back. Safi. Show ni kali. Tumeona sherehe. Nani apendi sherehe?
Nani apendi?
Nani apendi? Wewe.
Watu wakubwa hawainue mkono.
Simeona tumikono pale.
Baby stay. Hata unaenda at home. Don't talk to strangers.
Watu udansi.
But Zenzi
ni kama waipa za
wanapenda sherehe kuliko millennials.
No.
No, I just think it's because unaona millennials ikihappeningi hakukuanga na a lot of social media going on, so they weren't showing sasa sisi majenzi tuko hapo tukiwa out tunaonyesha Monday is a Friday.
Millennial ndo walipiga sherehe Nairobi CBD. And then the fact that sisi zilikuwa Nairobi CBD. Sasa hizi huko nje.
Mimi niko na swali. History millennial mnapiga club sijui nini. Nyinyi mkifanyanga job ndio mfanye hizo ma clubbing ndio mpate do ya kwenda out. Mnaekanga records ndio mjue mnafanya nini na pesa zetu.
Okay.
Clear.
Now, as I was saying, that's a very good question.
and we want it to be on the record.
Yes, put it on the record.
Yeah, on the contrary record.
That ukilipwa mshahara ama ukipata pesa yako ya mwisho wa mwezi, umepiga biashara yako vizuri, umepata pesa yako, unatoa 10%, unalipa rent. 10% 10%
ya rent.
Wanasemanga hivi, wanasemekananga hivi. Mshahara yako, rent yako haifai kupita 10% of your annual.
Nini? Mshahara
yako.
Unataka kunyambia mtu analipa 100k anaishi kwa nyumba ya 10k.
Yes. Hivyo ndio
That's how it should be.
Sasa ukishagawanyisha ya rent na ugawanyisha ya food na ugawanyisha ya nini, haukosi mabakshishi ya sherehe.
Lakini kosa letu ni ya kwamba tunapatanga pesa hivi, unafikiria record wapi? Unafikiria rent what time? Why?
Hata unajiulizanga.
Alafu ukiamka the next day unakumbuka
unajiulizanga mbona hii pesa ishi?
So kwa watu wenye rent, kwa msee ako na biz anafanya records ya kila kitu. Anafanya 10 ilienda hapa, 20 kaenda hapa. Hata walipa madeni 1 za job. Na msee kama Makena mwenye anaweka nini yake kwa kile records zake kwa
hiyo ni kurisk. Hata ni kurisk. But then unaona na hii job kama hiyo Makena, unaona kama ukiona na biz kama hiyo ya hoteli, like big businesses, aufai kurisk atuneka vitu kwa akili. Kwa hiyo business ya Makena ni watu wanajaja. Watu wengi wanajaja. Utakumbuka Omondi aliweka deni ngapi? Alikula chapati ngapi? You have to have the record.
But pia ndio uweze kuanalyze vile profit yako imekuwa, loss yako imekuwa, lazima tu uziandike kwa nini. Kwa
the records na cash book.
Speaking of akili guys. Speaking of akili.
Unajua cash book.
Speaking of akili. Nyinyi muone kenye mimi nimeona. Japo nimesikia kenye mimi sijaelewa. Jonto umesikia kenye mimi nimeelewa? Umesikia? Lakini mimi sijaelewa. Jo, unakaa kitu ni kweli.
Kwani
sina
believe nazo?
Unaona vile wase
huyo ni Chebi. Huyo si mimi.
Unaona vile wase wanataka ku prevent ball and all the nini. Ku prevent sana ball. Wanasemanga tukisimama like tukifanya while standing aiendi juu.
Wait, tunafanya while standing?
Lakini of course
yes. I'm also shocked.
Nguvu lazima ukue kitu ya kwanza.
Hapana, nasema huku nje vile
kwa. How some people believe.
These guys don't.
I also
standing scientifically the najua utasikia hii kingine. So scientifically
haiko kwa vitabu.
Haiko. But scientifically wanasemanga the sperms they swim up. So whichever bora tu
basi tuiname
like whichever the position ama whichever zitaenda kutafuta egg
azinanga break
akili ndio tapitisha
like ukishaanza kubili sijui nini bro kitakuramba you'll get like I don't know how many kids
kuna safe na pia
kwa tu safe unasikia venye Makena anasema unasikia venye Makena anambia tricks wewe tumia yako ndiko wewe tu hiyo side tu ya
lakini ka dry fry unajua sweet huwezi mumunya na karatasi.
Unaona dry
easy sweet. Ndio uweze mumunya hiyo sweet bila nini kuna hosi. Mnapimwa muone kama it's advisable. Utoe karatasi ama usitoe.
Usijaribu.
Tumia contraceptives kama unaenda dry fry. Na kama unaenda standing tumia kondiko bado. Bro.
Unaweza fanya standing na kondiko.
Be careful.
Wagona dau kama join sai bado ini Shujaz TV na tuko Rongai na Place 125. Umesikia vile wahenga wameongea?
Manzi amenibamba sana na kwanza Chebi amesema kitu ya maana sana. Amesemaje? Ukiwa umepata doza zako, si tunakimbia sherehe unashangaa manzeni aje doza zangu aziishi. Kumbe unatumia doza landlord. So make sure umejipanga before uende kuserereka.
Wamesema una budget mpaka sherehe.
Exactly.
Ndio?
Exactly.
Speaking of mboka mtu wangu tunaingia Rongai tuone champions wa this time. Ametupangia nini au sio?
Usafi.
Twende sana.
Niajose, naitwa Sam, niko 21, mimi ni student MMU, tuko Ronga at the laundry room. We offer wash and fold na dry cleaning services. Kitu nibamba na hii biz ni vile una get ku connect na wase, kuna wazee kuja wanaweza ku advise by the way hivi na hivi ndio vile biz hufanywa. Our day to day activities ni vitu kama nafungua shop alafu naweza pata orders, I just get a call alafu I go pick the order, alafu nakuja nafua, nakausha, Kama ni za kupiga pasi, zinapigwa pasi, then nakunja, napea msa delivery, anarudisha. So challenges za biz ziko kadhaa. So unaweza pata msea anakupigia simu anakuambia je kujia manguo. Alafu wewe ukienda huko ufike unapata ndio maybe anatoka penye alikuwa, ama anakuambia amechange mind, ama umpati hata kitu kama hizo. Alafu ingine inaweza kuwa weather, juu kuna vitu hawezi kausha na dryer, tuseme vitu kama duvet. Alafu pia maji, unajua tuko Ronga, so maji hupotea every once in a while. Kitu moja yenye unipush kuja hapa, unajua kuna vitu zingine huwezi tegemea. Kama saizi hebu angalia state ya economy, huwezi tegemea employment. So kama kijana lazima ukue umejipanga, at least ukue unafanya kitu on the side. Alafu kitu ingine yenye inanimotivate ni life tu. Kama wewe ni mwanabiashara, probably unajua venye clients ni muhimu, juu biz haiwezi exist bila clients. So kupata clients ni rahisi, hiyo nayo kila mtu anajua. Hata wewe ukiamua unataka kuamka asubuhi upate client ni rahisi, lakini ku maintain clients hiyo ndio inakuanga challenge sasa. Juu unajua ukipata client mwenye ako loyal atakupiga referrals kwa wase wengine, alafu wewe kama mwanabiashara biz ina grow. Ndio ya biz nilipata from savings, nilikuwa nikisave for a while since last year. Alafu mimi hutumia pochi la biashara kwa kurun biz, so juu banks wanakata transaction cost sana. Kwa hii biz yangu the laundry room, in the next 8 months to 1 year ningependa niweze ku reach out to more places kama Langata, South B. By the South B niko na pick up location, nita drop number. Alafu kama naweza pata sponsorship nipate a bigger machine, juu saizi niko na machine ya 10 kg washer, 8 kg dryer, so a bigger machine itanisaidia sana. Alafu niweze ku reach out to more people, wale vijana huko kwa mashule au macomrade wote. We youth man uko hapo nyumbani, najua uko na idea, huwezi kosa idea, so put that idea into action. Huwezi jua inaweza jipa 1 in every 1 million ideas huwa ina come through. So alafu kuwe na kakitabu, mi yangu personally naita The Millionaire Book. Hapo ndio penye naandika ideas zangu zote, alafu najaribu zote, alafu ile inajipa.
Mbogi true, Sama mini nice be deadly sana. Mse anacheza mafutani, manzi anajituma. Only 21 years old manzi, na anajisukuma kujiskuma.
Vibaya sana. Ukiwa 21 ulikuwa unadu?
Mimi nilikuwa waitress actually hapa hivi Ronga, na hiyo job ilinisaidia sana ku build skill yangu ya marketing.
Ulikuwa unadu? Nayo mimi nilikuwa nafanya set books hizo ma time. Nakumbuka River the Sauce hivi, Caucasian.
Ndio wale mlikuwa mnakaa Mchoma high school tunaanza kuwakatia by force.
Sikasirike jamani, suffering from success au sio?
Ndio hiyo, lakini manzi Sama mini bamba kwa ametuonyesha kitu ni process bro, alafu bado hajafika destination yake. That's why bado anasaka ma investor ndo anunue machine nyingine ya kukausha hizo
Madrid. Waronga wote manze to big up Sam na tumboost hapo. Aendelee na hiyo hustle yake au sio?
Exactly.
Anyway, kumekuwa na matrends zimekuwa zikituma low over the time, na sasa nataka tuende kwa moja sasa tuone vile kuna kaa au sio?
Anguka now, check it. Anguka now, twende down low now. Stand up to your feet, mikono juu alafu click. Tuliza pesa alafu one leg. Anguka now, one check it. Anguka now, twende down low now. Stand up to your feet, mikono juu alafu click. Tuliza pesa alafu one leg. Anguka now, one leg. Anguka now. Anguka now, itabaki meflow na vibe. God have mercy upon us. Mteja patikani hadi late night saa 6 ndo kaniwai. Nikupini location nikofana na hii. Sitake call niko chomba ya D. Mimi najua utakuwa irizo riri. Acha nikushow kwanza form ya Didon. Kampua na twende chini kwa chini. Hadi na mimi. Sasa tunasikiza shit tuna feel free. Weka video na post pale NGC. Jina ni
You asked women empowerment,
business ideas, careers,
fashion,
men's mental health, neno la Mungu,
parenting.
Ni vijana wanaweza pata tu do.
We listened.
I'm a bit scared because the rate of divorce is really high.
Marriage is a scam.
It's new. It's fresh. It's your world, your reality.
Sometimes in football, the best team doesn't always walk away as the winner. Especially in the knockout rounds at a major tournament, where an off day or some bad luck can spell the end of a once promising campaign. At Euro 2024, Spain were undoubtedly the best team from start to finish, completing a perfect tournament to create European Championship history.
Mwenyezi Mungu atakufungulia hazina zake nzuri kutoka mbinguni na kubariki kazi za mikono yako. Utayakopesha mataifa mengi, lakini wewe hautakopa. Mungu atakufanya kuwa wa kwanza na sio wa mwisho. Hakika utaendelea mbele na sio kurudi nyuma.
To get blessings za maisha as your skiza tune, dial *811*926#.
Skiza na Nation.
Even Job, he overcome the lines the devil had put for him. He entered the next level. Today, I prophesy, just like Job, God bless his life. Yeah. He received double. Today, you are crossing that suffering, crossing that sickness, crossing that failure, that poverty, joblessness. You are entering your next level. Double.
Nakwambia gona the days zenye wase walikuwa wanaingianga kwa ofisi, unakaa pale unaadvisiwa all through. Sasa ikuwa vocal weka youth man, umesoma, uko na knowledge, unajua kenye unado, manze jiongelele, jibonge, fanya kazi yako na confidence, au sio?
Exactly. Najua hii kitu ni process, usisahau kukuwa respectful bado kwa wase wenye wanakujenga, si ndio?
Respect. Wanasemanga raise your words, not your voice.
Raise
your words, not your voice.
Hallelujah.
Anyway, acha tuingie leo kwa forms za socials tuone vile kulikuwa kuna kaa this time.
Manze, kuna mbogi true hapa manze, na wacheki pale kwa socials zetu wa Mwangushangi, mabundles nazo news stack. Kwa sababu nacheki kuna swali DJ Boy aliuliza pale kwa Shujaz Kenya na mme come through. Ameuliza ebu we share experience yako ya kuanzisha biz yako.
Okay.
Nacheki. Alafu Paula Mike amekaa hivi akasema it's not easy for everyone. Business needs a lot of work and preparation together with hard work. In short, ni process manze, nacheki.
Preparation muhimu.
Exactly. Alafu Princess Carrie amekama akasema it needs patience with customers. Juwe lazima wakukasirisha at some point, and being new in the business it also depends with how you treat them. So ukitaka kucheza mafutani, jua ku-engage na wasi wenye wanakuserve na wenye unaserve pia.
Unasikianga hiyo lawyer, the customer is always right.
Of course.
Hata ukiwa na biz lazima umsikize.
DJ Boy anasema
DJ Boy pia alikuwa na swali lingine risky. Anauliza gava inaweza tumia manjaro gani kulipa deni bila kukopa? Unajua wahenga wamemsho.
Wahenga wamemshoaje?
Kuna mhenga mmoja hapa amesema tupewe till number ya China tulipe wenyewe.
Mimi na second that na 94th actually. Hiyo till number ikam through lakini
majenzi wapewe till number ya China. Tuikanje.
Si ndio? Na tujue hiyo deni kwanza ni how much.
Mwingine amesema vile si uchanga mzinga tuchange 200 tulipe na hiyo account number ya China.
Another sense times 2 ingine.
Big up majenzi na hii wisdom yote mnatupea wasi.
Ongeza ingine. Kwa mzee na ana make sense kwa sababu tunacheki hadi kuna ma influencer huko wamekaa mna kitu ya sisi kwa sisi na wana make difference. So si ati hizo ni stories za jaba.
Tutaendelea ku explore hizo avenue ya kulipa hizi madeni.
Exactly.
Anyway, hiyo imekuwa Shujaz TV manzi, nataka tukuwapeleke kwa talent mtaani. Niliwaambia tukorongana tuko na talent hapa kuruka. Tuende tucheki talent ya this week na kaje.
Twende nayo.
Alinifanya nimuwate usiku na mchana, nikawa ni kama nimepaka.
Mimi naitwa Olive.
Purity. Niko 24 years of age. Natoka Rongai.
Ile mradi niwe naye, lakini sasa ninapotazama naona kama
Mimi ni msanii, hucheza piano na gitaa. Mbona nilichukua gitaa kama chosen instrument yangu? Ni kwa sababu gitaa ni ukisikia tu yenyewe unajua hii kitu ina sound vizuri. It's good to listen to. Alafu pia you can play on any octave, on any
kama nikakaza, lakini uonekani mpaka sasa. Rosella.
Time ya COVID, nilikwenda nyumbani Bungoma. Then when I was there, a friend of mine by the name Joseph and Seth, they were the guys who taught me how to play guitar. But after they saw me playing it, the first song I was playing, my mom was like, okay, sawa. And then the next time now my dad chose to buy me a guitar. Juu aliona nimecheza ngoma ya kwanza vizuri. Kwa kucheza gitaa, naweza pata kujibamba. Kwa sababu naifanya kama hobby. Ya pili naifanya pia kama biashara. Kwa sababu utapata kuna ngoma tunaziandika. Mimi na rafiki zangu, labda si mimi peke yangu. So we did it to also make money because we have events also that we run. Mtu anaweza jijenga na akuwe na long term future na usanii. Nikichukua example kama mimi, my parents walikuwa wanaona music is a waste of time. Kwa sababu all the time you're trying to practice, you need like 4 hours to rehearse on your instrument. But it's not wasting time, it's actually becoming the best at what you're doing. So mimi naweza ambia watu kama unadai kucheza ama ushawahi kucheza usiwache. Kama wazazi waache watoto wao wafanye chenye wanataka. Kwa sababu in one way you're blessing them and you do not know how you're blessing them.
Oza wadau, vile tulikupromise manze, lazima tukulete stories za talent, na hapa Rongai na talent ni massive, au sio?
And by the way, Olive kuna kitu amenifanya nifikirie, amenifanya niulize kiatu inafanya nini Rongai na hii dust yote. Lakini at the end of the day, hii place ni supu sana, na Olive amekill it manze kwa hizo buzz zake. Amenifanya nikafeel hata niimbe tu sai.
Olive amesema hakuna kitu inakam.
Easy.
Exactly. Sijaijua sio umia kucheza gitaa.
Wanaumianga sana. Ni fact by the way, mimi hata niliacha kujaribu, but venye ameni encourage sana nikantarudi pia mimi, because ni kama pia me I can get that. No, because she got this and she made me feel like I got this too.
Exactly. Anyway, sasa tunataka tuende tusikie vile wase walifunguka hii wiki. But before that, kumbuka kama uko mtaa, unaweza tupata kwa socials zetu Facebook, Instagram na TikTok @Jazz Kenya, au sio?
Ndio hiyo. Sasa twende tuone Kenye Mo na Uncle G wanasema.
Ni aje wase, mimi hapa Uncle G. Na hii ni Funguka Mazee.
Tuko hapa kuwasikiliza. Kitu yote tu unapitia, wewe ongea na sisi through our WhatsApp namba yenye iko hapa chini.
Ndio hii hapa.
Na tuta communicate tu ni aje.
Nilisikia Mgoso akisema a problem shared, the problem have solved. Si tuko hapo. And juu ya hiyo story naona tuende tu direct into it, si ndio? Kwa hizi messages zenyu kuna mmoja alituandikia hapa akatuambia ni aje, haki niko na boy na nampenda tu sana, hata nimelala na yeye, but these days zimekuwa za madharau, and then my friend ananiambia ati ako na dem mwingine. What can I do? Mo, una feel anafaa kufanya nini hapa?
Ingekuwa ni mimi ningeongea tu na chali yangu, kwa sababu mbona ni feel hivi peke yangu. Like yeye tu ndio akona majibu zenye nahitaji. So ni yeye tu nitaongelesha, ni msho man, kuna niko tu na feeling too weird about encounters zetu siku hizi. Anisho nini mbaya? Juu labda kuna kitu inamsumbua na mimi.
Yeah, na naweza kuambia from a man's perspective, mimi kama Uncle G naweza kushow. Sometimes machali kuna zile vitu zenye si upitia na mnatujua si tunapenda kufungia vitu ndani. So hiyo time nitajifungia hata sitakushow, but actions zangu zinakushow kuna kitu na do. So inakaa ni kama madharau. The easiest way, communicate, bonga na yeye, muulize babes ni aje, lately kuna venye si feel vizuri, kwani what's happening? probably utadiscover hata mkiongea itakuwa easy ya kwake, so atakuwa anakufungukia ama namna gani?
Ni ukweli.
Very nice. Si unaweza tusomea message ya pili?
Tutafute hiyo ya pili. Ni aje guys? Niko na msee nampenda. Sitaki kuengage na relationship because I'm still a student. Please help me.
Nice. Mika Ankoji, first off, congratulations. Kwa nini? Tunasemanga the first step to recovery is acceptance, self-realization. The fact that unajua wewe ni student, hiyo ni fiti.
Amesema hataki relationship. Like ame acknowledge that hataki relationship juu ni student. So hiyo ni kitu kingine ya ku take note of. Kwa ni mimi naambia tu wewe chali yangu man. Nakupenda lakini kuna vile mimi ni student sahi maneno ya relationship nini kidogo aiendani na vitu zenye nafaa kwa nafanya sahi nisomea exam nikipita. So kama ni msee ananipenda anafaa ku understand that tunataka kusoma.
Very true. Hiyo hata siongezi kitu. Venye Mo amesema, that's it. Mimi na support kabisa. Umesha align priorities zako. Uko perfect. Si ndio? Ama aje Mo?
Songa nayo.
Yes. Message ya tatu tumereceive hapa, kuna msee anasema na ukizaa na mtu alafu akulenge utadu. I am really struggling to raise my son alone. Kwanza nikikumbuka fee next year. Wow. Mimi kama Ankoji naweza kushow ningekuwa kwa hii situation. Key thing ni na realize mtoi yako hapa. Huyu jamaa ashakukataa. Ashasema ajisikii. Tusonge. Kwa nini? Mtoi at the end of the day ni wewe anaangalia. Hana place nyingine ya kucheki. Ni wewe peke yako. So personally mimi naweza sema inaweza kuwa best maybe cause chuo ni next year. Save up to kiasi at least to guarantee mtoi akona future fiti.
Tafuta bills.
Yes. Anasoma fiti. Una get? Mimi naweza prefer si ameshaondokea muondoe.
Eka bidii yako 100% plus 50 yake.
Yes.
Ange top up. Eka hiyo yako 100 yake 50. Ingekuwa ni mimi ningefanya tu hivyo. Ningejisimamia mwenyewe, niwache kutegemea ati atashow up. Akishow up fine, asipo show up ni sawa pia. At least mimi nimesort mtoi wangu kwenda mbele na nime make sure at least niko na kitu na mtoi atasoma. Usijali, mtoi atasoma, utapata njia.
Mbele pazuri.
Where there's a will there's a way.
Mbele pazuri.
Kuna nia utapata.
On that note, mimi na feel so far kuna wale wenye tumejenga, tafadhali keep hizo messages zikikam. Sasa tukipatana nazo tunabonga hapa pamoja, si ndio? Zidi kufunguka, ndio hii namba hapa. Sasa baadaye watuguya zamaje?
Wasi cheke manze Mona Uncle Jimmy wao ni bamba tu sana. Unaniza advice wananipea hadi manze siwezi pata kwa Google. Na pia kama unadai kufunguka manze ingia pale kwa WhatsApp yetu at 0718921170. Alafu kumbuka manze unaweza funguka anything. It's a free safe space for you.
Wagwan na niliwaambia shout out kwa streets ina walk mtaa yako manze ukicheki mic imefika usiwahi panic. Chukua big up mse yote sawa?
Exactly. Sai mic iko kwa street manze kitu cheki una
Niaje majamani, ni Mavenge hapa.
Naitwa Eriko. Mimi naitwa Capri.
Naitwa Ashley, nimetoka mtaa Rongai.
Naitwa Joel, nimetoka Runga.
Ningependa kubig up watu watatu. Wa kwanza ni Mkoro akiwa pale Maeria, wa pili ni boys wangu Mustafa, na watatu ni mori wangu anaitwa Sean.
Ningependa kubig up maboys wangu Jonte, Jombo Okola na Jombo Uchibo.
I would like to big up to brothangu anaitwa Kashif, mtoto wake Kais na my mom at home.
Then ningetaka kubig up Deno representing Ole Kasasi pale. Ni big up hapo hivyo pia niko na Voke ana represent Mayor Road. Alafu pia niko na demo hapo anaitwa Abi ana represent Tuskis. Na big up Binoma mbaya mbovu.
Na napenda kupenda shout out to Daniel Kabonge, Edwin Ocheng, Irene Weru, and Junice Aworo Cheng, and Daniel Musobia.
Mashujaa, manze mpendanga sana kuwacheki mkishika hii mic. Hiyo shout out kwa streets imeni nice. Na next time manze maybe hadi tunaweza kama kwa mtaa yenu.
Usiogopa manze, ukicheki mic na randa kwa streets wewe anguka nayo buda, anguka nayo ati
walege
mtu wa kamera atajama. Anyway, hiyo imekuwa Shujaa TV na show ina come to an end. For the very first time wasiwarongana mmetumalo, mmetufinish ile serious, mmetuonyesha vile mnacheza mafutani, ikue biz, ikue kwa talanta. Nini wasiwambogi true, au sio?
Exactly. Alafu cheki manze, kama umehata show usikue na was manze. Sisi tuko hapa kila Wednesday kutoka 10 mpaka 11 kama tu sai.
Exactly. Na bado kesho Thursday kwa radio, wale wa radio utapata Amona Wabere pale Nation FM kuanzia 7 to 9 pm. Bado ni usiku zako, si ndio?
Exactly. Alafu pia mambo ni mob na mambo ni fiti. Pia bado ukidai namba yangu ya WhatsApp ni 0718921170. Nivutie nijue mtaa yako ni gani.
Kumbuka bado socials zetu TikTok, Instagram na Facebook ni Shujaa Kenya. Sawa? Sasa before si tuende tuchukue mapets zetu, masimba zetu pale. Mimi nimekuwa host wako hapa Sanchez Mali.
Ni bad girl mwenyewe hivi yona.
And at the end of the day
has ended. Ini Shujaa TV.
Twende sana. Na anatuonyesha process yake. By the way, uko na biz isukume vile sama na isukume. Umesikia? Anataja mpaka manini. Mpaka manini.
Not funny.
Sasa nikitoka ndo anaita art.
Anyways, maze Sama anacheza mafutani mse.
Exactly. Haiwezi.
Mimi naitwa Jane na Tala wameniokolea sana. After kupata hiyo pesa nilinunua nguo, nikauza, nikapata profit, nikaongezea stock. Asante sana Tala.
Tala, tunawaaminia.
Reach your audience instantly and make a lasting impression with Nation Sema. Affordable bulk SMS at 0.3 Kenya shillings. Own sender ID for 10,000 Kenya shillings plus 10,000 free messages. To sign up, please call 0728434979 or email us on mkibunja@ke.nationmedia.com.
Are you ready?
Kuna moja mbele, ngine yende rembe. Apu dem, apu dem, apu dem, apu. Kuna moja mbele, ngine yende rembe. Apu dem, apu dem, apu dem.
Kwa sherehe tumefika.
Lete king'ari nikusitie kifuaka. Niko na dem, mwenye kuna dem pia. Mwaka fulani ikifika na wachangamkia. After scene kabaridi sezi nkatulia.
Tunakubali. Gateka. Gateka.
Cash pop za Nyandaro ni mawaru.
Only on NTV. Want to know the biggest story of the week?
Do not worry, the Weekly Review got you covered. For in-depth analysis of politics, business, governance, as well as social issues, the Weekly Review covers it all. For well-researched, exclusive and investigative content, read the Weekly Review every Sunday in the Sunday Nation.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated PG. It may contain scenes unsuitable for children under the age of 10.
Get ready to have your mind blown.
It's the O to the G Calligraph Jones repping the 1960 and you're watching Poetry Mix. Keep on playing my music. Respect the OGs. Yeah!
We're bringing you the hottest show in town.
Hata sisi tulingemwa pia collab, life inakuwaga hivyo.
Nice one. Na tulilive hivyo paka Steve Simbe pika Africa International.
From exclusive interviews with the biggest names in the game.
So Abanton is here to stay. Abanton itakaa siku sikiza.